right, Homesteader family, welcome back to the journey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the end of 2023. So, this is the end of year review for 2023. Going over what happened, going off of New Year, New Goals 2023, what I had set forth, what I was able to get accomplished, what I wasn't able to get accomplished. And just all the twists and turns. So I don't know about you, but 2023 started off in a semi-good, semi-rough year. And then as we got deeper into 2023, it got a bit rougher and a bit rougher and a bit rougher. And then towards the very end of 2023, for me at least, it finally started to smooth out, started to become a lot easier and more positive. I know there's a lot of people talking about 2024 is going to be a bad year, but we're going to just have to stay positive and keep this positivity going from the end of this year into 2024 and make sure we make 2024 a good year. So, as I sat down the other day, about a week ago, and I listened to my New Year's New Goals 2023, I remember all my vivid imaginations and thoughts of where I would be at by now, where I would be headed, and it totally took a turn. So over most of 2023, I've been talking about goals, motivation, determination, setting things forward to start taking your baby steps, getting things done. Now, whether you believe in goals or New Year's resolutions, they're also known as lists or ideas or thoughts, because when you have a list, that's what you want to get when you go to the store and you end up not doing the full list, or sometimes you get more than what's on the list. Same thing with goals, same thing with New Year's resolutions. So my goals this year, my big goals, were I wanted to rent a bulldozer for a month. That didn't happen. Ended up being able to hire a guy down the road to do all the excavation work. Still got to get some dozing work done, but a lot more got accomplished this year on the homestead than I had planned. My big goal was clearing Purdom Lane on both sides of Purdom Lane from the front all the way to the back. I did not get to that. You also got to remember, when you're setting these goals, New Year's resolution, thoughts, lists, ideas, it's not about what you accomplish. It's about the journey you take getting there, or the journey you take going somewhere else. As in my case, I wanted to clear Purdom Lane. The only thing I did on Purdom Lane was clear a couple branches to get the shed through. I had talked about in January, I wanted to get the shed cleaned out and get everything stored in the shed. Well, we see that journey went a different avenue, and now the shed is up at the house site. Slowly for me, fast for a lot of you that are watching the journey, but slowly for me turning into a tiny home. I can't get it done quick enough. I'll be talking more about that tomorrow on the Sunday Monday vlog on what I've got accomplished this week and upcoming goals for this next week. I wanted to get the animal pen done. I was hoping to have that done by November so I could get the animals in a new pen. That's taken a curve. I still have not got the pen done. I have done, I think, another like 300 feet of fencing over the year. Not a lot of fencing when you got to consider I need about another 2,000 feet worth of fencing to finish the pen. My goal now is to have that done by May 1st, or will be my goal coming up on the New Year's New Goal 2024. Then I had thought about fruit trees and honeybees and garden, and we know I am nowhere close to that. I do have some goals towards those coming up this next year in 2024, but this year, as we saw, the only gardening I did was here at the restaurant, and I found out how hot the highway is. That heat just blasted my little seedling plants, because they never formed into fully furnished crops because the heat just vaporized them, baked them to a crisp. But that's all I was able to do. I think I got like 4 cucumbers off the cucumber plant, and I think I got one green bean, and that was all I got. Everything else just baked. I do plan on some gardening this next year in 2024. I'll go over that in a couple days. And that was pretty much the goals of where I was looking at 2023 going. Why? The beginning started a little bit good because in December of 2022, I thought I had part of the homestead sold. That turned out not to happen. So now I got the homestead back on the market. Colorado was perfect, doing its thing. Then by, I think it was April or May, somewhere in there, I found out Colorado was going through a divorce, and the homestead or the ranch had to be sold again in Colorado, which means I'm not going to get the interest. So I'm actually going to be taking a loss on the ranch in Colorado. Thankfully, in a way, it hasn't sold because I'm still getting some interest. Not thankfully for the family because they're struggling with what they're struggling with. But that's why I said everybody's year was different. Came back and forth, back and forth. I did not think I was going to be able to do much more than Purdom Lane because that was just going to be saw blades, labor, and time. So I could have got a lot of that done. And then I figured my one big purchase for the year was going to be renting the dozer. But then I ended up, I did get forestry mulching done. I wanted more of that done. I had the excavation work done. Got the swimming pool put in the back. Haven't been back there to check. We've had a little bit of rain, not much, so I don't think anything big is going to be in the pool. It's not going to be 6 feet deep of water yet. Got the shed cleaned out. Finally, my motivation, determination was not there for all of 2023 until the last month of the year. And you saw I got that accomplished. I got the shed up to the house site. Got the house site semi-flattened out, ready to get started. I need the bulldozing work to finish leveling that off with the transit. And now I'm doing the tiny home. I'm building the tiny home. Beginning of January of this year, I was looking at, I wouldn't be living on the homestead for probably a good 8 to 10 years because of the owner finance in Colorado. I wouldn't see the money, but if the ranch ends up selling, then I'll be moving quicker with that. But because I'm doing the tiny home idea, it looks like I'm going to get moved over sooner. So I'll have goals on my movement. It won't be January. It won't be February. It won't be probably March. Sometime after March, I'm setting a goal, a deadline I'm going to try to make and get over to the homestead. I'll have a lot of different goals coming up for the New Year's New Goal 2024 on Monday. Got Sunday, Monday vlog tomorrow, and then that on Monday, I'll go over everything coming up for this next year. But it's just been rough. I don't know how you guys been this year. Hopefully you guys have had a good year. Hopefully Thanksgiving got better for you. Hopefully Christmas was even better. Hopefully New Year's is going to turn that new leaf if you're still having a bad year and turn it into a good year. Hopefully you got some of your goals, dreams, and accomplishments taken care of this year. If not, you got this next year to do it. And remember, what you wish you would have done this year, you better do it next year, or it's going to be the following year or the following year, and you're never going to accomplish it. So if you want to get moving, if you want to get motivated, got to sit down, have a powwow with yourself, and only you can determine where your future goes. You can only say, I'm going here, or I'm going there, or you lay on the floor or a couch like the lazy mouse is back there and don't do anything all day. If you don't do anything all day, nothing's ever going to change. Remember that. If you want to get somewhere in life, if you continue doing the same stuff, you're not going to change your outcome. You've got to go out of your comfort zone. You've got to get out of your bubble. You've got to get risky. Just like I say, with me living in debt my whole life, I've been back and forth in debt. That was another one of my goals this year was finally dug myself out of credit card debt, and I said in the New Year's New Goal 2023, I was not going to put nothing else on credit cards that I could not pay. Well, what's that? 11 months later, I've changed that, and now I'm in credit card debt again. However, without that risk, without that motivation, determination, I would not be moving to the homestead in 2024. Because I stepped out of my bubble, because I stepped out of my, well, I won't say comfort zone, because I've lived in debt my whole life. So there is no comfort in debt. You're always waiting for the next check to come in. You're always waiting for something to sell. You're waiting for crypto to jump higher. You're waiting for something that you can get your paycheck on the first of the month and not be like, oh yes, I can finally pay off debt. You could get money in your account on the first of the month and be like, oh, okay, it's just another day of the month. I'm not worried. I'll never be there. I was there for a while back prior to 2011 when I lost everything. But I don't think I'm going back to that because I'm not money hungry now. I'm not chasing the dollar. I'm not spending every hour trying to make a dollar. I know a lot of you do your 9-to-5 jobs. You work 2 jobs and 3 jobs and 4 jobs and 5 jobs and gig jobs and internet jobs and everything else. Where's those dollars getting you? I mean, I know everything costs money. We all need money. If I had $1 million, I could have the house done on the homestead. I could have the pens done, But the thing is, the more money you make, the more expenses you have. Because if I had $1 million and I had, let's put it that way. If I just had $1 million to work on the homestead, I can't do it all quick enough to spend that $1 million because I'm going to want to spend that money. So what's the option? You hire builders, you hire fencers. Well, then you spend that money, the money's gone, and then when the fence breaks down or a tornado goes through or forest fire happens or something like that, then you're back to square one because you spent your $1 million and you got to start from scratch. So I live in debt because debt doesn't go with me when I'm gone from this planet. And I'm able to kind of do what I want to do. It's not, like I said, I would love to have the homestead done and be able to just enjoy life. It's not that way. I'm dealing with insulation. I'm dealing with tin and tongue and groove boards and changing out a shed to a tiny home. Some people got the money. They say, hey, boom, let's just buy a brand new tiny home. Boom, let's buy a brand new house. I can't do that. If I could do that, that means I probably work those 3 to 4 jobs, gig jobs, internet jobs, to make that money to do that. But by doing that, you lose your life. You lose your time. Yes, money makes things a lot easier and a lot simpler. But at what cost? That's back to goals, determination, motivation that I have for living my life and not giving it away to somebody else. That's why I was talking to somebody this other day, and they were talking about doing some side work for somebody to make some extra money. And, I could probably do some side work to make some extra money. And I've had a lot of you tell me over the years that I should try to go do some side work. I should try to find something under table or cash or whatever. The thing is, even if somebody pays me $25 an hour, which nowadays that's like nothing compared to what inflation has everything at. But that $25 for the hour, that $25 doesn't even buy a sheet of plywood anymore. So for me, that hour that I'm putting in for that $25, I can do a lot more than a sheet of plywood on the homestead for an hour of my labor. For me, earning all the benefits than somebody else. that goes to where your bubble, your comfort, the risks you're willing to take, and losing time of my life on somebody else's project is not that. Now, some of you have asked, like with Steve, what's going on with Steve? Da da da. How's he coming along? Am I doing things with him? Is he doing things with me? Back and forth, back and forth. Steve's like the only one I'm willing to waste time on. And I don't say waste as in bad, but eventually he's going to help do orchards and farm the gardens and stuff like that. So by me helping him and him helping me, it's a mutual benefit. That's where I said back, and I've said this for years and years and years, going all the way back to the beginning of my channel, is with Pastor Dow out in Tennessee. I don't believe in their process and their thoughts and all that type of stuff, but their community. If I could be sociable and be around a lot of people, which I don't like being around a lot of people, that's the benefit that me and Steve kind of have. He does his thing, I do my thing, but eventually it's going to blur to where it's helping both. You know, if he's got the orchard and I got the gardens, you're swapping fruit and vegetables, so on and so forth. That's where Pastor Dow's community out Straightway, Tennessee, is just amazing, because they have the greenhouses, they have the hoop houses, they have the cinder block raised beds, they have the orchards, they have the berry rows, they have the chickens, the cows, everything that they produce there. And everybody works together for that added benefit of community. I'm just not sociable. So that's where it's up to you guys on jumping out of that box when you make your new goals. And when you look back at 2023 for yourself, don't just watch this video to see what my accomplishments were, what my failures were, what different things I was able to accomplish this year. You should end this video and start thinking to yourself, back in 2023 in January, what was I hoping to do this year? What were my goals? What were my plans? What were my failures, my successes? Everybody should be taking these videos and be thinking about that. And when we get ready to go into this next year, you should be setting your own goals. And maybe you may want to start a YouTube channel, but maybe, just maybe, this video will give you an idea to sit down with your cell phone, turn on the camera, January 1st, January 2nd, January 10th. You don't want to procrastinate too far out. So that's why I say try to do January 1st and make a new year, new goal 2024 for yourself. Privately. Doesn't have to be shared to the public. And just say what you think, what you feel, what things you want to get accomplished, what goal you're working for. If you're doing that 9-to-5 job, I'm going to work this 9-to-5 job for next 10 years to get here. But you're not just placing that 10 years out. You got to set those baby steps. Every 3 months, I'm going to be here. If I'm not here, then I'm upping it to here, so on and so forth. So then that way, as a lot of people get older and they had the bad memory or forgetfulness, and you might not remember where you were mentally, what your thoughts were mentally, or where you were emotionally in January of 2023, you'll be able to look at 2024 in January, come December of next year, and say, this is where I was, this is what I got accomplished. And maybe, just maybe, you do this every year, because my videos can remind you to look back at your video, and that's a memory that's not just a photo. That's not a memory that can just fade away. That's something you can pull back up, as long as you don't lose your phone or lose your memory card or your phone crashes or something like that. That's technology for you. But you can go back and press a button and watch yourself. Just like I've gone back and I watch Max and the dogs growing up, and I see the goats growing up, like Tiny Dude and Baby Boy, how tiny they were, and how big they are now, 7 years later. How big Minnie and Mickey are 7 years later, and how old they're getting. How I've changed mentally, emotionally, physically, um, every which way. Just every year, the new goals and the end of year, just being able to go back a week ago and watch where I was in January and seeing the excitement of where I thought I was going to be. And then having the positivity still to realize I didn't get where I wanted to be, but I got a lot more accomplished just on a different track. The orchard, the honeybees, the garden, that's a huge thing. I can't wait to get into that. I still can't wait to get into it. Do I wish I could be there already? Yes. Do I wish I would have had all that done in 2020 when I moved out here? Yes. But that's life. You know, we never have enough time. We never have enough money. No matter what, everybody's to-do list, goal list, resolution list, regular list, whatever you want to call it, is never ending. That's why nobody can ever sit down and say, I've accomplished everything I wanted, and I'm just going to sit in this chair for the next 20 years. We always have something we want to do. There's always a new change, a new thought process. As we get older, we think of things in different ways, in different lights. We decide this way for so many years, and then something changes and we think this way for so many years. So it's great to have this memory. It's great to be a part of this journey, hear people's journey, not just my journey. Like many of you out there, talk to a lot of you on the phone. I talk to probably 10 times as many through text messages and emails and letters, which most of you, I don't even know what you look like. That's where I'm at disadvantage. Everybody gets to see everything about me. Well, most things. There's some private stuff I hide and things like that. Bad days, anger days, sad days, things like that. Like I said, all YouTube channels, they only show you what they want to show you. Me, I'm pretty much open book. Like everybody yells at me for talking about my credit cards and talking about my finances and what I waste my money on and things like that. You know, I'm just an open book. But to have that memory, to have the videos to go back and look at your life is just, it's awesome. So I highly recommend it. I highly recommend you get motivated this next year. Start motivation tomorrow. It's the last year of 2023. If there's any last thing you want to get done in 2023, get it done. I was hoping to get the tiny house almost done by New Year's, but there's no way. I didn't work on it yet. Well, yeah, I did work on it this morning. Didn't work on it today. I'm not going to work on it tomorrow. I'm exhausted. It's been a long, rough, tiring year. Had its ups, had its downs, and I'm somewhere in the middle, floating out into 2024. I've got some big hopes for 2024. Got some big goals for 2024. If a couple things happen, the whole journey's changing yet again in a massive scale of things getting done. So look forward to seeing you guys on Monday for the New Year's New Goals 2024. That will be at 7 p.m. And then I'll be live stream again tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the Sunday Monday vlog. Let you guys know what I got accomplished this past week, what my new goals are for this upcoming week, and how things are progressing with the tiny home. So with that, hope everybody has a great night. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Hope New Year's is good for you. And like always, live happy, live free. That's the only way to be. I'll see you guys on the next video.